but try not to cuss in the first 5 minutes. But I'd break the rule all the time. I guess that's the only like time frame they care about. After like the first couple minutes, you can pretty much show whatever you want,
Okay.
and you can hear me correctly and everything. Like
Yeah,
everything's good.
I can hear you.
Okay,
Everything's good.
cool. Yep. How you been, man? How's your hands healing up?
My hands are good now. I've been sparring already. I spar on Tuesday,
Yeah,
and I spar today's sparring as well. And um, I think all good, man. Overall, all good. Couple soreness here and there, but besides my hand, everything is a lot better.
that's good. Yeah, they don't look nearly as swollen as they were when I first seen you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no, it
look a
looks
lot
good.
better.
Yeah.
A little here hurts a little bit right here, but besides that, the hand is good now.
When you're preparing for a bare knuckle fight, do you use like gloves or MMA gloves or
Oh man, it's a whole process for my training, like for the way I eat, the way I recover, the way I train my hands, and the way I spar, and also the way I do mitts. It's a whole process.
yeah? And we should probably start it with this, but do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, well, whoever doesn't know me, my name is JC Llamas. I'm a fighter. I'm a musician. I do a few other things besides that as well. And I'm from Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico. I live in Bakersfield, California, and I'm also a coach. And that's me.
How when did you move to California? Or when
Um,
did you move from Mexico is what I should be asking.
well, before I was fighting, I was a professional dancer. I used to break dance and do acrobatics, and I was traveling around the world every other 6, 7 months. I was in a different country for like I think like 7 years. I was doing that for like a little while, and then I think I moved to Boston, no, New York first, because I went to do some competitions there, like breakdancing and rap battles, and then I moved back to Mexico. Then I went to the Bahamas, and then back to Mexico, and then California, and that's when I started. So I would say like 2003, 2004, probably. I
When
wasn't even fighting yet. I didn't know how to
yeah.
fight yet. I was just doing martial art. I mean, break dancing and music and rap battles.
Sounds like you're kind of successful doing whatever you want to do, right?
Well, I one of my things I since I was a kid, bro, I always like to do things all the way. Like I don't really do things halfway. If I don't enjoy something, I don't do it. Um, if I do something like that I enjoy, that I have fun doing it, I actually get educate myself on how to do it better and how to become better at it. I don't really have like a competition ahead of me. I'm feel like I just want to be the best I can be, and
Right.
whoever is in front of me, and if I have to compete, I have to give it my best every time, and that's how it helped me like develop this competitive mentality, but not competitive against anybody. Mostly like become just better, so I don't know, I can make a living out of it or like provide food for my family.
Right. You get to do something you love to do and possibly make a living out of it.
Passion fruit. This is my
Mm.
passion fruit. Like a really healthy snack.
I know. So how were you when you were growing up? Like, did you have that fight in you? Were you fighting all the time?
Oh
Or
my
did you
god.
have it
Yeah.
bottled up? Yeah, because there's fighter in this game. A lot of people have it. There's very few people who grew up fighting. A lot of these, the college kids, shit like that.
I hated fighting when I was a kid, but I grew up. Everybody has like a crazy stories about their neighborhood and their hood, and I'm one of them. We had a really messed that neighborhood. Like I got in a fight like I would say like 4 to 5, 6 times a week, bro. And I didn't like to fight. I was actually terrified of fighting because where I grew up, it's never one against one. It's like one against one, and then like two, three people show from behind and they stab you, they hit you with
Mm,
sticks or rocks or something. So I was always like
mm,
afraid of like
yeah.
getting caught or getting murdered, like when I
Mm,
was a kid, because I was fighting the wrong people. And I hated fighting. Like I never really liked it. And but I used to have a my hair is curly and it turns kind of reddish So they made fun of my hair when I was a kid, and we were broke. We were like poor, like broke. Like people from Africa, they were sending us money, bro. I'm just kidding. Like we were bad. Like we didn't have a.
Yeah. Nah,
I
no,
grew
I
up with
feel
my
it.
I grew up with my grandma, so we didn't have a sometimes electricity, water, or like a lot of times food. Like so, it was bad. So everything that I did, that's why I got better at things. Everything that I did, we bet money or like a taco, like a sandwich or something.
Mm,
And for us,
hustling.
if I don't win, I don't eat. We didn't
Yeah.
eat, so I had to win in whatever I did.
Mm,
And I grew up with that mentality. I had to be good. I had to win because if I don't win today, we don't. I don't bring food for the family today.
right.
So that was the mentality.
No, I can relate to that. So, despite the way I look, I grew up in a pure gang neighborhood, it's all Mexicans, and you know how it is, like, and like where you got the little candy store, you got the, you know what I'm saying, you got the bully man, you know, like. So I relate to a lot of that. We grew up in the neighborhood. For example, these two twins got shot, and they both got shot in the head late in like 4 or 5 in the morning. Right?
Yeah.
We had to catch the bus at like 6:30 in the morning. So the blood and the grass was still wet.
Damn.
So these little kids were getting the blood on the stick and like chasing each other with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
So
god.
like that. So like I grew up in that same kind of environment. I grew up in a like basically from the canal to the to the basically like the main street canal to Buhack. It was just all gang territory, and everybody that we all went by their rules. The old ladies, the everyone, like
Damn.
if you look at my yearbook, I'll send it to you later. It's Mexican name, Mexican, 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 me, Mexican, 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 and then my little brother and stuff too. But my little brother wasn't the same way I was. I was very active. I wanted to be able to be outside and I could fuck to it.
Yeah.
So
And
and
that's
and we're
something
always
that like
jumping each other. We're always jumping each other.
that's something that it stuck to me because where I grew up, I had the this ego, this pride that I never let nobody bully me or punk me or
Mm,
disrespect me, regardless if it was like a couple of them. So that was my main problem. I would say like the moment
exactly.
somebody
Hmm.
start looking at me and try to disrespect me or my family, because we were broke and they say things about me, my mom, or my family. I got furious and I didn't know how to control that when I was a
It,
kid. I was
yeah, and to add to that too, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's different when you're already in a poor neighborhood and then you're the poorest in the neighborhood, like you're the target. So I don't
just
mean to cut you
imagine
off, but
just imagine that like in the whole neighborhood, everybody's poor, but they made fun of me being poor.
mm,
You know what I mean? How bad that was. So I was like, oh my god. But not just that, like they used try to be disrespectful with me and my mom. They say like names. You know how the kids are, and
yeah.
but I didn't
Hey,
let.
Mexican kids are ruthless. Mexican kids are
Yeah,
ruthless. They tell me why your teeth grow like that. But yeah, nah, I grew up like I said, I grew up in a straight Paisa neighborhood. So like I feel it. And what you said too about pride and ego is a fine line. But Mexican people as a whole are very prideful, very prideful. Like, but that ego is different. Like I felt like I couldn't be a bully. I felt bad one time. We bullied some kid and I felt bad. So what I would do is I would only fight the gangsters. I would only beef with the gangsters because I could do whatever I want without, feeling bad.
I
And I was
see.
getting fucked up inside the house. So I figured, I'll take my chances with the kids my size. Everybody's like, "You got little man syndrome?" I'm like, "No, I grew up with Mexicans. We're all little." I was like,
Yeah,
I got white boy syndrome. I got treated differently because I was white. So when you said that ego and pride thing, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it really, it really hit home with that because that ego and pride, when you're poor, that's all you got.
yeah, and I mean, I didn't. I think it was dumb of me. I just got lucky. I just got lucky because there
Mm,
was a lot of people like me that also fight, but they didn't make it. You know,
mm,
they got killed, they got stabbed, or they got in jail, or they got into drugs, or they got into something. I realized like I cannot be living here. I had to move out of here. And whenever I was leaving, that's whenever I start the kidnapping press. I don't know if you heard about it, but like
yeah.
everybody was like messing their even their own family kidnapping or like sell like um the organs. Like they did they kidnap people to sell organs, bro. Like
Right,
that's
right.
how bad it was. And it got really popular in that time in my town. And everybody just like for no reason they just try to fight and like try to do shit like that. And it just got to the point like, you know what, I need to get out of here, man. Like I got other skills. I was skateboarding. I was really good at it. I was breakdancing. I was getting paid to breakdance and do shows for like different companies. I work in there's a name boom, in Puerto Vallarta is a tourist area and they have a lot of hotels. And the hotels they're all inclusive. They have shows for their clients, the guests, and every show is different every night. So they used to hire me to go do acrobatics and flips and Michael Jackson impersonations, and I got a job doing. You're really good dancer. Like you should do more shows. Like we have a salsa, merengue, cumbia, bachata, tango, bars, waltz, like a lot of different styles of dancing. We can teach you how to do that. And you can be one of our dancers. And we have shows. We have 14 shows we have 14 shows, and every 2 weeks the shows repeats. So I start practicing, I start learning that. My whole life changed after that because I was living in a hotel now. I was living in a 5-star hotel
Mm.
with a 5-star restaurant, eating whenever I wanted. I was like 15 years old, bro. And I was living a life like a luxury life. And every 6 months to another place, another hotel. As soon as I turned 18, I was able to travel outside the country because I didn't grow up with my mom and my dad. I grew up with my grandma. And whenever I asked my mom if she can sign me a passport because they giving me a job in another country, she's like, "No, why you crazy? Why you gonna go all the way there for something like that?" Blah blah blah. She didn't know how talented I was in my dancing.
Right.
So I have to wait until I was 18 because she didn't want to sign my passport. So I got my passport as soon as I turned 18, man. Like the day after, I went to get my passport, and I would say like 2 weeks later, I was already out of the country,
Yeah.
and I said
Yeah,
traveling.
and that you having that experience early probably shaped everything. Like it showed you like, oh wait, there's more to this. I don't have to stay in this neighborhood. I don't have to stay in my in town. You could, because when I was a little kid, I played baseball.
Mm,
So I would be in the ghetto, all the time. But every weekend, I'm going in with the team. My mom worked 2 jobs, and my dad was out on drugs. So my mom, she would like fundraise to get me to go to the tournaments, but I'd stay with my coach. So during the weekends, though, I'm staying in 5-star hotels. I've been to New York as a little kid, like to play baseball. Like, and I'm from a little town in like near Stockton and Fresno. So
yeah.
it was really that experience has shown me a little bit more. It helped me also like learn how to behave like around like rich people.
Mm.
So like the fact that you got that at 15 really showed like that shit put a battery in your back, had you
Yeah,
really ready to go.
and I keep coming back, bro. Like I keep coming back to see my family. I keep coming back to see my friends. But every time I came back, it was a fight. Like
Mm,
no with my friends, with the opposite gangs or the opposite like crews, because we were really friendly, bro. Like we used to be we have a crew like breakdancing crew, but it was other crews that they were no breakdancing. They were more like they just try to beat up people or steal
right.
or stuff or like or just do bad
Yeah.
stuff. And that crew was more like the cool crew, like everybody wanna be with us, like the skateboarding, breakdancing,
Yeah.
graffiti, rap battles. So like, it was like we were the entertainers of the town.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other crews that they didn't have none of that, they hate on us.
Yeah.
And they used try to like beat up the weakest link or the weakest person in our team. So I had to go defending. I had to go fight. I had to step up. And a lot of times it ended up in like 7, 8 of us versus 20 of them. And it was
Mm,
like a
yeah.
crazy fight. And some
Not
people got stabbed.
It's crazy too because so ours the neighborhood I grew up in was a Sureño neighborhood, right?
Mhm.
So everybody in our circle was just like that. If you were a soccer player, you're with us. If you played sports, basketball, you're with us. If you were basically anybody who wasn't a Sureño who wanted to be outside was with us. So we had a lot of the athletes on our team. We were outnumbered, but we were all
Yeah.
athletes. And we were all, and then there was a boxing gym like a 5-minute walk from our neighborhood that was free. It was a program for the police, and we took advantage of that. So we were beating up the gangsters all the time, but you quickly realize like the tough guys die first. Like you
Yeah.
start learning really, really. So I got stabbed. But I got stabbed 2.5 years ago, not that long ago. But because I've seen so much people get fucked up, I knew to stay very calm. But I'm out of I think everybody I know who's been stabbed, I'm the only one who lived.
Yeah.
So that environment's all I was used to. Like we didn't get to go to school to go and like learn about school. It was gangbanging. Like we had to like, you know, our elementary school was so bad that we had to start wearing uniforms because little the first time I got jumped in a gang was like first, second grade.
Mm.
And then the next month I performed in sync at the talent show. Just still a little kid, but
That's
like,
been
in neighborhoods like that, they like, and it's probably like times three, times four, times five, even worse where you're from. So it's like you a lot of times kids they don't get to be a kid very long. They have to grow
yeah.
up really quick, and it really shapes their whole lives and shit. And
But something that's crazy that you say that because we are the way our we like. Oh my god, I just bring me back like these crazy memories. Whenever we were a kid, I remember several times, bro. Like we didn't have food, like to
Mhm.
eat the entire day, so we had to go like figure out how we're gonna eat. So I developed that sense of urgency as a little kid that I had to work. Like I was like 6, 7 years old already selling like bread, fruit, whatever we could. I was fishing at 6, 7 years old to go catch fish and sell it. And but to us, it was like everybody else was the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody else
It
was
was
like,
normal. You don't
yeah,
realize you don't realize that it's not normal until you go and see more of the world.
yeah. And
Then you
then I
realize, like,
realized like,
damn.
yeah, exactly. I realized like, man, everybody, a lot of these people, they're broke too, but they have the mom and dad that they can provide for them. It was just me, my grandma, and my brother, and my grandma was already old. So it was
Mhm.
mostly me and my brother, he has a schizophrenia. So it was mostly me, bro. So I had to like,
My grandfather had schizophrenia.
so yeah, so I was like, but my brother didn't develop the schizophrenia until like later on, around like 19, 18 years
Mhm.
old. He had like I would say like a mile in the beginning, but we didn't know until like he fully developed it. And I realized that the my brother's a little lazy. I was like, man, my brother just doesn't want to do this, man. Like I'm always like working harder than him. Like why? He's older than me. He was like year and a half, 2 years older than me, and I didn't realize like why he didn't help me as much, or why he was just chilling, or just like, you know what I mean. And
Yeah, yeah,
I realized like, man, he was sick and we didn't know about it. And
yeah. He was probably hiding it too, and also he probably didn't know either. He's probably like, "What the fuck's going on?"
yeah.
Like, because I'm bipolar, so like I didn't find out I was bipolar until I was 30 or almost 30. So like you just and it's like and I'm not like bipolar like I go crazy like fuck you guys blah 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 hey blah blah blah. It's it's like a never ending like circle, but a lot of it's have like I mean look at me, I'm a memorial got here there my wristbands like everything about me is people who passed. I really we were outside a lot. My dad would, take everything, basically. He would take all of our money. We've had no lights for, like, months and shit, to the point where my mom, she never broke that spirit, though, so she would make games out of it. We play hide and go seek in the dark. As a kid, you don't what but she's just trying to keep our minds off shit, no hot water,
Yeah,
that type shit. My dad was the type that was drugs over everything. Like,
man.
so and, like, Imma send you some stuff 'cause, I probably should have sent it before so you could learn about me, because I like sending things about me to people, so when I ask them certain questions, they understand that I kinda know where the mindset comes from, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But, now I hear a lot of, like, even our circles were the same thing, like, we just wanted to be outside and be left alone, and we were almost turned into gangsters just by our environment and by, like, people fucking with us. Because so, when you say that how you guys were the dancers, you guys were the cool kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you guys always had to defend yourselves, and then it just, it ends up bad. When
Yeah.
did you when did you and then probably when you came back as a dancer, they probably looked at you different, huh? Like, "Oh, this guy's soft. He's a dancer."
No, like I wasn't
No?
like I was like the cool breakdown. Like I was doing like
Yeah, yeah,
head
I know, I
spins,
know, I know,
backflips,
yeah.
and
But
they
people are stupid. They don't really understand, like, they dancing is dancing to them to some people.
Like
Not,
at one point in my life, I think whenever I was like 14, 15, I started winning a lot of competitions. A lot of times, those the same gangsters, the same like crews that they didn't like us, they came to me and give me props, and they're like, "Man, cause you're representing our town, like f those fools, like we are the S, we're the best,
yeah,
blah blah blah." Even though they didn't dance or anything,
yeah. Those are the
eventually,
real ones. Those are the real ones. Those are the real
event,
ones.
eventually, those guys asked me if I can teach them how to break dance, if I can teach them how to like rap or like graffiti, like because in my hometown it was like it was mostly like cowboys. It was none of that stuff. It was like new
Yeah,
to
yeah,
them. So whenever I
yeah.
brought it to my hometown, it was a wave. Like everybody loved it. Everybody like it was in a little. It's called kiosco. It's like a little plaza where people go chill in the park. It was like
Hmm.
a park. They had like a little circle with stairs, and on top over there, people we used to break dance there. So it was a lot of people always around us watching us break dance, and it got so popular that a lot of people from other towns, other cities, other states, they came to battle me or battle my crew. So it was like I would say like 200-300 people just watching our battles free. Like it was just we used to have like a
Hmm.
little old tape, the radio with tapes.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
put
yeah.
that stuff and we play it, we bump it, and then it was perfect. Bro. It was like it was a beautiful scene. Those guys eventually asked me to like, and I'm talking about drug dealers, people
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
work with
yeah.
that stuff.
The
They
killers, the
asked me,
gangsters,
the
the ones who are
gangsters,
outside.
yeah. Then they became my friends, bro. They became my friends. I was like, hey, we got you, bro. Like anything that you need, we protect you. I almost got into working with them, but I was like, no, bro, I don't want to do this because I see
Fucking
a
around
lot of
got too cool.
yeah. I see a lot of them like I don't know, we're just trying to like getting shot for no reason. I was like, man, I have a good job. I'm doing like I don't want to be dealing with this thing, and I don't mind hanging out with them. But every time I hang out with them, there's always somebody getting shot, So
Mm, yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't wanna do this. So I moved out of there. And my life changed, bro. My life changed after that.
When did you start training, or how did you start training?
It's a crazy story, bro. I tell you, I repeat it so many times, but it's when I first started, I went to a gym called Body Exchange, like a fitness gym, and I went there because I wanted to break dance with in the
Mm,
basketball court because normally those are the best areas to like spin
yeah,
and slide and stuff like that. So I met with some people there in Body Exchange in Bakersfield that break dance. I didn't know nothing about martial arts, nothing. I seen it on TV a couple of times, but I didn't know nothing about it. I thought it was fake, to be honest. Whenever I saw like the UFC and stuff like that, and then I saw it was a ring in the body chain next to the basketball court, and I see some guys just like grappling, wrestling, but I didn't know what grappling was. I thought like, oh, they're doing like wrestling.
yeah, like
So
WWF.
yeah, or
Mm.
like lucha libre, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
WWE.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So I went there to kind of make fun of them, not make fun of them like how do you say
yeah.
like weird, but for
Like,
myself like
yeah, like look at these fucking guys, these fucking
yeah.
idiots.
Oh my
Yeah.
head, exactly. Like,
Mm,
man, these dumb guys, they think this thing is real. So
mm,
I went and I see some guys, but they were not doing the same things. They were like grabbing legs, grabbing arms. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And since I was a kid, I always used to like be the hardest people to take down because I was very athletic, and
mm.
very how do you
Coordinated,
say that?
coordinated.
Slippery, very
Yeah,
slippery.
mm,
And I was super strong. I was fast and strong and slippery. So it was hard for them to like grab me. And the reason why I was like that is because I fought a lot of people. I was one against like 4 or 5 of them. You know what I mean? So I got to the point like I was good at don't letting grab me or like hold on to me.
mhm. You had
So
really good instincts too. You never let them get behind you.
yeah. So whenever I was watching, one of the guys that was there, he said, "You want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, but what is it? Like, what do you guys grabbing arms and legs? Like, what do you guys do?" And he said like, "It's called jujitsu." And he's like, "But let's try it. Come, jump in. When something hurts, just tap." And on my head, I was like, "When something hurts, tap, man. come on, man, like on my head. I didn't say it to them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
But I was like, how you gonna get make me tap? I don't even know what tap means, right?
yeah.
So
Sounds like a
I,
bitch.
yeah, so we started like standing, and they told me there's no punches, just like wrestling and submissions. And I was like, okay, I didn't know no submissions, but I know I was strong. I know I can try to take him down. So I took him down easily. And I think the guy kind of pulled guard, kind of, maybe. I don't know, but it felt so easy to take him down. And it brought my
Mm,
ego even bigger, like, oh, I'm the shit, So whenever I took him down, this guy grabbed my leg and throw the leg around my hip and my leg and got me in an ankle lock. And he was cranking it hard. My foot almost broke, bro. And I was like, screaming. And I was like, He could like, and the other guy said, like, just stop if it hurts. I didn't know what it means. So he kept going at it, and I kept screaming. I was like, and I tried to like grab his hands and push, and he pushed me back. And he said, like, whenever it hurts, just say tap. And I said, just tap like that. Yeah, tap, tap, okay, tap. So I tap. And I asked him, what is that? And he said, like, it's called ankle lock. And basically, you grab with the blade of your wrist and you hit the Achilles and then you pop it back and squeeze it hard. And I was like, on my head, I need to learn this. So when I go back home, I can beat everybody with these submissions. That was my first thought.
mm,
So he told me like, where do they train? He's like, oh, we train uh at South Valley. It's called what's the name? With Tommy Little. Tommy Little. He's my coach. He's actually the one that gave me my black belt. But he said, like, we trained this place. I didn't know where it was or anything. And he gave me the address and I went the next day, but it was closed.
mm,
So I started looking on the internet, like, where can I find jiu-jitsu places? So I checked other places around the same day and I found another place. Uh, it was called UFC Gym, but it wasn't the real UFC gym.
yeah, yeah.
It was called Underground Fighting Center or something like that. Underground Fighting Center. Eventually, and when I got there, when I did this, I had a girlfriend at that time. It's no longer my girlfriend no more. But when I went there, I went in on my car, and the guy that was there, I don't want to say names so Gil doesn't get mad. This guy, he told me, do you train before? When I got there, it was three guys outside, and it was me and my girl in my car, my Jeep, and I
Mm,
got right next to the door, and I asked him, "Hey, do you guys train jujitsu here and martial arts?" And he said, "Yes." Do you train before, or what do you want to do with the training? And he's like, "Boy, I want to learn how to fight." And he's like, do you train before or anything? I was like, nah, man, I only did break dancing and a little bit of capoeira, like flips and kicks, but never for like fighting. It was more for like a show. And this guy, he told me in front of my girlfriend, he said, oh, that shit doesn't work. If you do that shit in my gym, I will fuck you up. I'll get you in the corner, don't let you move, and fuck the shit out of you. Like, I don't know why he was cussing at me. I never met this guy
mm,
in my life. I didn't know who he was, but I know he was tall. He was like 6'2", like buff. He was very buff. And I'm like 5'9", and I was like 180 pounds, 190 pounds around that time. And
mm.
so he said, uh, I'll basically fuck you up if you do that shit on my gym. So if you plan to train on my gym, I don't want to see that shit in here. So my girlfriend grabbed my hand because she know how trigger I get when somebody try to
Mm,
disrespect me and punk me.
yeah.
So so I opened the door of my Jeep, tried to get out, and she grabbed my hand and said, like, no, she said, like, no, don't do that. And then this guy said, I'm 265 undefeated world champion boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing. He mentioned every single martial arts and he probably invented a few. And and, and then I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna beat my ass if I actually go fight him. I don't know. And I asked him, how much you charge here? So my idea was I'm gonna learn, then I'm gonna fuck him up. Because nobody's gonna do respect me in front of my girlfriend.
Mm,
So whenever he starts talking like all that mess, he's like, well, It costs $150 to sign up for your first. Then you gotta pay your second month. It's $150, and it's $150 enrollment fee and a $50 for your membership card. So it's $500 to start. I was like, damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm talking about like 2010. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
15 years ago.
Hell yeah,
Like
it's different
I
ball
was like,
game.
yeah, on my head, I was like, maybe that's how much they charge to train with somebody that's 265 undefeated world champion. Maybe that's why he charged so much.
Mm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna learn, and then I'm gonna beat him up. So I signed up, and I was working at that time at a company called Bright House. It's the cable company. I mean, sorry, DirecTV. I started with
Mm.
DirecTV first, and then I moved to Bright House later on, like 6 months later. So I started working there. I started working. I started training there. So I can only go certain times because of my work schedule. So I have to wake up really early in the morning, like around 6, to go train at 6:30 till 7:30, because I had to go work at 8 o'clock. So
Mm.
I took all my uniform and everything on my band, because they give me a band, like DirecTV band, and I have all my stuff in there. And I wanted to learn basically jujitsu. And the class that they were doing in the morning, it was kind of like jujitsu, ground and pound. But the guy that was teaching, he didn't really know much jujitsu. He was like a white belt for the other
Mm-hmm.
for the other coach. And there was another guy that was there for, like, I would say, like a year, at least a year, and he acted like a coach. And I thought he was a coach. He was like bulky, like full of steroids, like huge.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was telling me that, yeah, I'm like a purple brown belt right now, but I never got my gi, so I'm technically white belt. But I've been training for a long time, and I've been here for like a year already. So I would say I'm like a purple brown belt. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't mess with me, he said. I was like, oh man, I'm just here to learn. And so a lot of people had like this crazy ego in
Yeah, it
there.
was different back then. Back then too, the internet wasn't as crazy, so you could fake it a lot. Like you could fake
Yeah.
it until you make it back then. Because I was still a kid. I was probably like 18 at that time, 17. So,
And I started researching who this guy was, like the Gil guy, like the coach.
mm,
And then I found out that there was nothing there. Like there was no single fight, not even one fight in the internet. And I was like, how you are 200 on my head? I didn't answer, right? But on my
yeah,
head I was like,
yeah.
how you like 265 undefeated world champion in all the sports of combat sports that existed, and there's no a single video of you. Like,
Hmm.
I wasn't even that famous, but if you type JC Llamas in YouTube, you see all my breakdancing competition, my
Right,
skateboarding, I used
right,
to be I was two-time national chess champion in chess. So you see all the stuff of me on the internet. Like, this guy is supposed to be 265. He's supposed to be like way more popular and more famous than
right.
me, and there's nothing of him.
Yeah,
So
not even an article.
yes, and then I went to another class, the same gym, but I went to another class later on my break, and it was a guy. His name was Chris Danum. He actually died, bro. Not like, I would say, like 7 years ago. He was a good
Mm,
friend of mine, but he was legit. He was I would say the baddest jiu-jitsu guy in town with no gi. No
mm.
gi. He was the baddest, like badass guy. So that day I went, and he showed me how to do the Americana and the Kimura. And then I asked him about the ankle lock, because that's a move I wanted to
Yeah,
learn.
that's all that was in your head was like, fuck
Yeah.
that.
So I learned the ankle lock, the Americana, and the Kimura the right way, or the proper way.
Right,
The other guy that was teaching in the morning, because I went a class in the morning, he wasn't really showing submissions. It was more like holding and then ground and pound and
strong,
holding.
like tough guy shit that don't really know
Yeah,
anything, no technique.
exactly. Honestly,
Hmm.
I don't think he knew that much. To be honest,
Nah,
I don't think
he looked the part.
uh yeah, because the way that he was explaining the techniques, it didn't make sense. But
Mm,
I believe it in the beginning. So whenever I was there, I learned that submission, and then next day I went to the next morning class, and the next morning class was Chris again, the guy that showed me in the afternoon the Americana, Kimura, and leg lock.
mm,
And I was like, okay, cool. This is the guy that knows. Because on my head I was like, what he showed me yesterday, I actually did it when I grappled with a couple new guys. Like, I got my
right,
first
it
kill yesterday.
works. Yeah, it
Yeah,
works.
and so then uh, we went over the Kimura Americana, but had to transition from there, like same technique, just
Mm,
different ways to get there. Sorry,
right.
and so I was like, you know what? I like it. This guy is good. Like I really like this. This is my third day. So this is what happened, bro. Crazy. This is the main point of my career right here. Next day, I went. I couldn't go in the morning because I had to do inventory. So I had to get up really early to go get my equipment at the office, and it's around the same time the classes start. So I couldn't do the class in the morning. So I said I'm gonna go on my lunch break. So I went on my lunch break, and I have my boots, my jeans, my uniform. I got like 4 or 5 different pants in here.
Yeah,
Um,
you're already addicted at this point, huh?
I have my radio, like basically whatever everything that I have. Uh, because the moment I start my break, I have to clock in from my last job, and I was very far away from my last job to wherever they were training. So
Mhm.
I clock in and I drove as fast as I can. I got there and I got like 10 minutes left. So I just wanted to go see what they were doing and what they were training. And they also have
Mm,
a pro team in their gym. They have a team that is only pro fighters, and you cannot train there if you're not a pro fighter. And they have the other beginners classes in the morning and during the day. But at a certain time during the day, they have the pro class. I wanted to see that pro class. And I was like, man, I want to see how bad those guys are, like how badass they are.
yeah, yeah,
So when I got there, it was a kids class, and it was I know another class over there. I don't know what it was, and then the pro class in the corner. And when I got there, this guy, the guy that was being
yeah,
disrespectful,
yeah,
he screamed from far away whenever he saw me at the door. Remember, I don't know this guy. I don't. I
yeah.
talked to
Right,
him
right.
once or twice,
You still, yeah, 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 and you
and
still
on
think that
my
he
head,
might possibly be a champion.
yeah. And then I realized, like, cause I tried to find about him, but I couldn't find nothing. So on my head, I was thinking, like, I don't know if this guy is really a champion, or maybe he goes by different name or something. I don't know.
Right,
So
right.
whenever I got to the door, he started screaming at me, very, very disrespectful, like saying cuss words and like, "Hey, bring you vagina here," without saying like the bad word, you know. I'm gonna make a new hole. I'm gonna beat you up. He started saying like very sexual comments, and I
Yeah.
get irritated. And I saw a lot of kids training in the class, and I told them, "Hey, bro, like there's kids over here, man. You gotta watch how you speak, bro. Like that's not professionally. Yeah, you don't talk to me like that as well. Next time you talk to me, it's gonna be different things, okay? So don't ever speak to me like that." So he started saying it louder. He got up all pissed and buff. He's like, "What's up? You wanna fight? You wanna grapple? What you wanna do something?" And I was like, "Man, I wish I could. I don't have that much time. I have like a few minutes left because I gotta go to work, and I didn't want to lose my
Mm,
job. And it was my first job in America, so
right,
I
right.
didn't want
So
to lose my
it's
job for getting
everything to
sued.
you. Right.
Yeah, and that's the only way I was surviving and sending money to my family. So he started getting very, very rude and mean and disrespectful, and I got pissed. And like I said, my ego got into me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
Mm.
So I started taking off my boots. I got my radio and my pencils, and I look at the clock. I was like, I got like 3 minutes, man. I gotta do this really quick. And I told him, I got 3 minutes, man, because I gotta go back to work. But at 3 minutes, so I start taking off my boots. He's like, you know what? You got 3 minutes. Leave the boots on. Don't take the boots. Fuck it, let's go. So we start going at it. And I took like it was just grappling. He didn't want to like beat me up supposedly. He didn't want to hurt me. He's like, let's just grapple. So I took my pencil, my radio, my badge, my wallet, put it on the floor, and I had a hat, and I took off my hat. I said, okay, let's go. And we started going. He tried to take me down. He couldn't. And I don't know how, but I took him down, bro. And the moment I took him down, he tried to push me. And whenever he pushed me, I remember that day, the day before, Chris showed us whenever they push you, lean with it and catch the
Mm,
hand and get the Kimura. The Kimura. So
yeah.
that's exactly what I did, bro. I grab it and lock it in, and I got inside control here and got the Kimura lock like hard, hard, hard. And then he stand there and then he push it, and then he push me like kind of like hit me, push,
Mm,
like that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
whenever
yeah.
he pushed me, I switched it to Americana and I lock it in. And right there, he couldn't escape. And then I did everything I have, bro. All my power, I cranked that shit like. "Ah!"
That's a
He
big
started,
motherfucker too.
he started screaming like, "Ah!" tap, tap, tap. And I didn't let go. I cranked harder. And he like, tap, 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 like 5 times, bro. I let go all the coaches, all the kids, all the pro fighters, everybody saw that, bro. And then I let go. His shoulder pop, bro. His shoulder pop. He got up very mad and he pushed me and tried to kick me, and I moved out of the way. And Chris, he's like, "Hey, bro, that's fine, bro. Hey, just grappling, no striking, bro, no striking." And he's like, "This motherfucker." I say tap, and he kept going. I give you a chance to tap me, and you try to hurt me on purpose. And I was like, "You didn't give me no chance. I beat you fair and square, so stop bitching." I told him. So I grabbed my staff and I put it, and I told him, you're lucky that I only had 3 minutes." And I walk away. I was scared, bro. I was terrified on my head.
Mm.
I grabbed my staff and I took off.
Going all
Next,
adrenaline. You're going off all adrenaline.
yeah, I was so nervous. I thought like he's gonna
Mm.
run behind me and try to hurt me or hit me or something. So I started walking a little fast. I grabbed my staff, put it, walk away. And then on my head, I was so happy. I was like, man, I beat up this guy on my third day training, and there's no way this time is a 265 world champion. There's no freaking way. There's other people in the beginners class that give me better challenge than this guy. So
Yeah.
next day in the morning, I went to the class. I don't have no equipment. I don't have chin pads, no boxing gloves, no mouth guard, no headgear, nothing. I was just learning jujitsu and kind of like ground and
Hmm.
pound a little bit. And then he brought one of his best. He was an undefeated Muay Thai fighter. He brought it and he showed up in the morning. And he said, "All right, guys, today we're gonna do Muay Thai sparring. So get your gear, everybody." It was Gil, the guy. I don't want to say his name, but it was that guy
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
messed him up,
yeah.
right? So, uh,
The fraud. We'll call him the fraud.
yeah. So then, we I didn't have nothing. I said, well, I guess I'm not gonna do this because I don't have anything. And he's like, "No, you can grab some of the gloves over there, the loaners, so like beat up gloves that they already have holes in there." And I was like, "Oh, fuck it." I grabbed two, and it was one chin pad that one
Mm.
like, that I can use, and I put it on my right leg, and there was no headgear, so I had no mouth guard. I had like two beat up gloves and one chin pad on my leg. So we started like, all right, we're gonna do 5 rounds of 3 minutes. So every round you get a partner. All right, and he sent me the best undefeated Muay Thai fighter. I realized his intentions. He brought
Yeah,
that
like
guy to basically beat me up.
yeah, he's setting you
Mhm.
up.
He tried to set me up, but I was like, you know what? Uh, I'm gonna do my best. If I wanna, I saw it just like any other bully that tried to bully me in my hometown.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
chicken out. I'm not gonna go back. I'm not gonna make excuses. I'm gonna
Mhm.
give it my best, and I hope for the best. So the guy, we start
Prepare for the
going.
worst, hope for the best.
Yes, he had no chin pads. He threw his legs, bro. Like we're like huge leg, like a trunks. And he was like 200 something pounds. I think he fought at 205. Just imagine how much weight he had to cut, right?
Right, right.
And I was like 190, I would say. So he kicked me, bro, on my leg. Boop. I had a hematoma on my leg, bro. Like I had a
Ooh.
huge bump. I kind of start limping. And I was like, you know what? Oh my God, that thing hurts. If it would have
You
kicked
don't,
me,
hey, before you get kicked for the first time, you don't think nothing of it, like
yeah,
whatever. But
that hurt, bro. That thing hurt.
mhm.
So
And it
in
takes all
capoeira,
your adrenaline away too. As soon as you get kicked, it's just gone.
yeah, it made me mad. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it back to him, but also made me think like, if he kick me like this on the head or somewhere, he's gonna knock me out and hurt me. So I cannot let it hit me. So
Mhm.
he started throwing like he throw, I think like a cross hook and another kick similar, and
Mhm.
I kind of like block the papa, and then I jump back, and the leg passed next to me, and whenever he passed next to me, he kind of spin.
Excuse
You know, like
me. Mhm.
he spin and check
Yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know? So he spin, and whenever he spin, I did a break dance capoeira move. It's called martelo de negativa, and that was one of my main moves that I do at the shows. or like to show off, you know. But
Right, right.
I realized, and they did a study in this. I don't know if you've seen the it's in YouTube. The most powerful kicks in martial arts, which one is? And they put Muay Thai, kickboxing,
Oh yeah, yeah.
capoeira.
Hmm.
It was that kick. It was
Mm.
that kick,
Yeah,
and
because
that
you
was
guys
my
get
fifth.
a bunch of torque on it. Your whole body just torques on it.
Yes. So,
And because
but
you
I didn't
dance,
know.
because you
Yes.
dance, your muscle memory was so sharp that you could do it without thinking. You could do it
Yes.
effortless.
So that's exactly what I did. I saw him spinning. I was like, right here, I'm gonna try this, and also to look cool, you know.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
try, and
It's a
I give,
win-win.
yeah, everything, all my power, bro, everything I had. So I did my slide. I swing this leg, and then the other leg hard, super hard, pow on the head, bro. Drop and flat, bro. Everybody else was watching, like, oh my god, that guy had a fight coming up in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. He couldn't fight. He got a concussion, like bad. So then this guy, the coach, the guy that brought him,
Mm,
he started attacking Mez like, hey, why you do that? You know he has a fight coming up. Like you supposed to like be careful. That's why we don't go 100%. Blah blah blah. I was like, bro, what the heck are you talking about? You see this? This is I didn't have this when I had a huge hematoma in my leg.
mm,
Like
mm.
like bro, like you, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to bring your best fighter to try to hurt me. It's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. And if you wanna jump in, you can jump in too. I was already pissed, bro, because they were making me look like I was a bad guy. I was the one
Yeah, right.
hurting people. I was the
They're
one like doing
manipulating. They're manipulating the whole situation and then playing victim.
yes.
They're trying to play psychological games with you.
So I got pissed and I was like, you know what? F you guys, I'm gone. So then Chris called me again. He's like, hey bro, I don't know why this guy did that because it's not Muay Thai today. It's Jiu-Jitsu. We're supposed to work this day, this day, this day. We don't teach Muay Thai in the morning class, bro. The Muay Thai is in another class. I don't know why he did that. And I was like, bro, I know what it was. He just tried to hurt me, bro. And
Mm,
I'm not gonna let him. I'm not gonna let nobody
mm,
disrespect me or pull me or hurt me. Like I'm not. Like I'm not. So then I would say like I didn't show up for like 2 3 days, bro. I didn't show up. I had things to do. And then the next time I show up, Chris told me like he's not gonna let the other guys do striking in that class to prevent accidents and also to prevent confrontations. And the other coach is not gonna be able to teach in the morning. It was only gonna be him and the other guy, the guy that didn't know much, the
right.
first guy. So
Yeah.
I said, all right. So I went to the next class, and from all my break dancing and all that stuff, I already have like injuries. So I have a knee surgery on my left leg, and my right leg was getting hurt. So I ended up having another knee surgery, literally like 3 months after I started training. But whenever I started training, I did 1 week at that place, and then the days that I didn't show up, I went to another gym because I wanted to change gyms. I didn't like the
Right,
vibe that
right.
the
Yeah,
vibe.
the environment. Yeah.
So I went to another gym in downtown. It was Fighting Dragons, and they teach jujitsu and they teach kung fu and tai chi and a lot of other stuff. And I went there and I didn't have a gi. I have a sweater. And the coach showed me, hey, you have a gi? I was like, no, but you can grab the sweater. It's strong. Look. I didn't know
Mm,
it. So
mm,
it was another guy, the same thing, another cocky guy there that he was a purple belt. And it was I had like probably 3 or 4 days of training, nothing else.
right.
And
It's a
this
hell of
guy,
a first week, huh?
yes. So this guy, he tried to like punk. He was a little shorter and smaller than me, but he was, I think, he said he was a black belt in I forgot the name, self-top jiu-jitsu. That's what he said. Self-top jiu-jitsu black belt. And but in traditional jiu-jitsu, he was, I think, a blue belt or something. And and then so I grappled with that guy, and I took him down, and he tried to like escape and hold me and tried to like sweep me. He couldn't. But I was so tired, bro. I was so freaking tired. I just took him down. I got him inside control, and I hold him there. I tried to do the Kimura and the Americana a couple times, but I couldn't do it to him. So We finished the round, and he got up and he's like, "Let's do it again." And I was like, "Oh, give me 1 minute, bro. I'm tired already." And but he tried to get me really bad. That didn't happen. And then the coach, he saw me grappling, and I guess he was one of his best guys. He sold me a gi. He said, like, I have a gi, it's a judo gi. It's one of my gis. I can sell it to you for like $50. They go for like 120, something something. I can give it
Mm.
to you for $50. So I got it. So I have like this big old thick gi, like very uncomfortable gi. That's why he sell it to me. That gi was like, it was like a card box. Like it
No,
was
wait, yeah.
it was so
No,
uncomfortable. But that was my first gi. So I started using it. And I went one day there, and then the next day I went to Tommy Little, the guy that my friends invited me. The guys that got me in the leg low first told me to go.
right, right,
So, yeah, so I went there, and and I I asked him about the price and everything, and I was like, you know what? I pay 1 month here. Probably gonna move here because I don't like how it's going over there. So I did training, and I went back and forth both gyms. I was doing drop
right.
ins here and there, and a month and a half later, I ended up getting surgery. Like,
Nice.
yeah, like I got my leg really bad. So I stopped for like a year. 7, 8 months, and I went back, and I my other knee, like it needed like to get repaired too. So I got another surgery in the other knee from all the breakdancing and stuff like that. And they repaired both. So my knees start fine. So it took me like a year to get back in training again. And then I started training again. My knees were feeling better. And I was doing jujitsu at South Valley. And I did jujitsu for like 4 or 5 months. And then my mom called me and told me that my grandma got sick. And well, she was already sick, but she we had to pay certain amount of money every 2 weeks for the treatments. And if we don't pay it, they will not give her the treatments. So we were already money behind. And I sent every money that I have from my paycheck.
Mm.
And whenever I send it to them, they told me like they still behind like this much, and if we don't cover it by this day, by Monday, she's not gonna receive her treatment on Monday. And I was like, man, I was asking everybody, all my friends for money. Nobody had any money. And at that time I was already working for Bright House, the cable company.
Right,
So I went to a place where I was installing the cable. It was a gym. And I told the owner of the gym, hey bro, if I hook you up with cable or like fix your internet or something, you and your family members, can you lend me this money and in 2 weeks I'll pay it back? And I said, oh bro, I don't have that kind of money. But actually one of my fighters supposed to fight on Saturday, he got injured, and we're looking at replacement for his opponent. His opponent is his first fight. He doesn't have any MMA professional fight, so it's gonna be his first professional MMA fight. And you look strong, you look buff, and at that time I think I was like around 197 because I gained some weight from my surgeries because I was
right.
inactive for like almost a year. So I checked my weight and I was 197, and he said, "Boy, you had to be 170, so you can cut weight. You had 3 days, so I think you can make it if you dehydrate, you do the trash bags." And I started looking into it, and I was like, "And how much they pay? Oh, they pay this much, and if you win, you get this much more." I was like, man, that's what I need, That's what I need and a little more. So that's good. I said, you know what? Sign me up. And on my head, I'm fighting somebody new as me. I already
Right.
beat up a 265 undefeated world champion on my third day. Uh, it made me feel confident, but I
Mm.
wasn't that guy. That guy was no champion.
Right.
So
The
I
real
took the
battle is that weight cut.
yeah. I went online on the internet and I started figuring out how to cut the weight. And literally, I didn't eat no food for those 3 days. And the first day, I took a little bit of sip of water. Second day, no water. I passed out twice. They almost fired me from work because whenever I was in the living room installing the cable and everything,
Mm.
and I was on my knees putting the cable, and I got up really quick. And when I got up,
Mm.
I got dizzy, and I sit on the couch, and I closed my eyes for a second. And when I opened my eyes, the customer was next to me, like blowing air like this. I'm like, hey, you okay? And I opened my eyes. I was like, oh, how do you get here? I just closed my eyes for a second. And she's like, no, you be here for a little while. You okay? We already called you. the company, they're on their way. We thought you were like sick or something. And I look like a tweaker already because I'm
Right, right,
dehydrated.
right.
Underneath my uniform, I have a trash bags. Like
Mm,
I have my regular clothes, like my shorts and a regular shirt, and I put trash bag. I put a sweater, and then I put my uniform on top. I look all fluffy. So, but I was sweating, and all my uniform was wet. And inside my uniform truck, I got like three uniforms that I changed around noon, and then around like 3 p.m. and at 4 or 5 p.m. when I had to go back to the office because I don't want to go like soaking wet.
right, right.
So uh, I was so soaking wet on that with the outfit that I had, and then the supervisor come and he said, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like, bro, I just closed my eyes for a second, and they thought that I was sleeping or something, but I'm fine."
Mm.
And he's like,
Were
"Bro,
you?
you look pale." He told me like, "You look pale. Uh, you look like sick." So I was like, "No, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine." And I didn't want to tell him that I was
Yeah, I
gonna
was about
fight.
to. Yeah, I was about to ask you. Were you trying to hide it from them that you were fighting?
Yes, because I was gonna call sick the day after
Ah,
if I got
hmm,
injured. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
I didn't want to tell him that, and so he said, "Okay, but you didn't." And in the company, if there's like incident, like if you
Mm,
break something or something happen like that, you have to get drug tested. But
right,
because
right. Yeah.
I didn't break anything, I didn't have to do anything, any tests or anything. So I went to my next job, and he just told me, just be careful, just be careful. I went to my next job, and I had to run a line in the attic. Oh man, it was hot.
Mm.
It was freaking hot. So I got in my car, like no water. This is my second day with no water, and I'm already dehydrating. I already feel dizzy. So I got all my equipment, I put everything I needed to do, and I was like, I'm gonna leave the line in the attic at the end, so I can just fish it for the line that I'm gonna connect, and that's it. So I put all the line from the outside inside the attic, and then I was like, all right, time to go to the attic. It was hot, bro. It was freaking hot. So I got inside the attic. I started crawling. It was really very tiny space. I was crawling in the attic with all the insulation. It was hot, and
This is
I
the
just, and I got,
craziest. This is the craziest weight cut story I've ever heard in my life.
bro, I didn't make it to the cable. When I was about to grab the cable, I I started feeling panicking on my head. I was like, man, I'm feeling dizzy. I don't feel good. I feel too hot. So I start rolling like crawling fast to the exit. I was crawling into the freaking wood and insulation. I had insulation all over my face, my body, and I just keep going fast, 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 fast. I got a scratch all over my arms, everything. And as soon as I got to the entrance, it's like an entrance in the ceiling. It's like a square entrance, and I have my ladder there. So I saw the light. I was like, oh, I made it. So when I made it, I put my hand outside to get cool air because it was hot. And I stick my head out and I closed my eye for a second. I was like, oh, I made it, man. I was gonna pass out. And I open my eyes and I see the the client with a broom hitting my hands like this. Hey, hey, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I just got a little cool air. It was hot inside there. And I was like, oh man, you were there for a while, man. You've been there for a while. So guess what? They also called my freaking boss. They called the company and they sent the supervisor. And I told him, no, it's fine. I'm fine. I just got a cool air because it was hot. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me go get the cable. Let me go get the cable before my supervisor comes because I don't want to get fired. So I ran like as fast as I can. I grabbed the cable, pull it. I fished it to the area that I was gonna put the cable, and I was finishing the job when my supervisor came because I didn't want to make him believe that I was useless. I didn't want to
Right.
lose my job. So he came, and then he said, like, "Hey, bro, what's going on? This is the second time the clients called today, and this is a second job. Like, what's going on?" And I told him, "All right, bro, I tell you the truth, but please don't fire me or like understand what my situation is. I'm gonna fight on Saturday, and I had to make win on Friday, and I had to lose 27 pounds. And he's like, bro, you can why you do that? Like you're gonna get hurt and then you're not gonna show to work and like you shouldn't be doing that. You have a good job right here. I was like, yeah, bro, but like I need to pay for the medicine. My grandma's sick and I don't have no money right now. I sent everything I had and none of my friends. So if you lend me money, if you lend me the money, I don't fight. How about that? Hey, like how much is it? I was like, oh hell no, I don't have that kind of money. But man, oh man, but they report you, so I had to take it to get drug tests. Are you sure you're not on drugs? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm not on drugs. I'm just cutting weight. So they took me to get drug tested. I was fine. I came back and he became my best friend, bro. One of my best friends. He's like, when is the fight? He got all excited about it.
Mhm.
And I told him, bro, I
It's
was
probably
planning
not
to.
the whole time. He's just like he's not a fight. This dude's on crack.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't believe me. He didn't believe me until
Mhm.
he's like, okay, the test showed that you're fine. You just massively dehydrated. He said, like, you need to get an IV. And I was like, no, bro. If I get it, I'm gonna put all that weight back, and I'm like 6 7 pounds away, and tomorrow is the weigh-ins, you know. And he's like, oh man, like, well, well, tomorrow's your day off, so you can do whatever you want, but you gotta make sure you don't make more mistakes today at work, because if you get another call like that, they're gonna have to do something about it. And
Right.
I don't wanna be involved in that, and it's out of my hands. So, but when it's a fight, he said, stays on Saturday at this place, and I'm fighting another guy. He's new as me on my head. He's new. He's not good. I'm gonna beat him up easy. And so I went to the weigh-ins. And when I went to the weigh-ins, this is a funny story, bro. This is hell of a funny because on the weigh-ins, it was a lot of chairs, and there was three guys in there, like next to each other. And I saw this skinny guy, kind of like a little taller than me, that he didn't look like that threatened. He didn't look like that dangerous. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then I see another guy next to him, kind of chunky but shorter, and he didn't look that intimidating either. Then I saw this huge bodybuilder, like huge, massive, probably like a 300-pound guy, like massive, like an action figure. And I was like, "There's no way that's my opponent. He's way too big. I'm fighting at 170." So I start mad dogging the other two guys. I start like giving the like, like the face that I'm about to
Yeah.
kick your
Yeah.
ass. I'm about to whoop the floor with
When
you.
that switch flips, it's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You just lock in.
Yeah, and I didn't know which one of those two were my opponent. So then, but I keep staring at them like mad, like furious, bro. And then they go, all right, to the scale, JC Llamas and Gabriel Gill. So I keep looking at those two guys, and the bodybuilder got up. And I keep looking at the two guys to see who's gonna get up first. And I see the bodybuilding passing by, and I was like, holy shit, this is my opponent. I got nervous, bro. I got scared. I was like, no, there's no way, because I look like a tweaker, bro. Like my face got sucked in, my
Right.
body. I can't even walk right. I need assistance to walk to the scale. It was bad, bro. So I got to the scale. All right, JC Llamas on the scale. And I jump in the scale, 170.5. They give us 1 pound allowance. So I was on way. Say, okay. And I was gonna be like, because the promoter told me, the guy that got me the fight, if your opponent doesn't make weight, he's gonna give you money. He's gonna give you
Right.
40%, 40%, 25 to 40% of whatever he's making. And or you just get paid for to show up and you don't fight. So I was thinking, well, I'm gonna make some money right now, regardless of what it is. So
Mhm.
then he jumped in the scale, 169.5. He was 1 pound lighter than
Mm.
me. And I was like, there's no way. There's no
The human
freaking way.
body.
The scale is wrong. The scale is
Hmm.
freaking wrong. Quítate, like move. And I jump in the scale, 170.5. Jump in again, I told him. He jumped in, 169.5. I was like, how are they doing this? They have to be a trick or something. There's no
Hmm.
way. This guy looked like 3 times bigger than me. How the fuck? And then Paul, the guy that got me the fight, he said, like, "Boy, this guy, he's been boxing professionally for 8 years. He's undefeated. I don't know how many amateur MMA fights and amateur MMA boxing fights has, but he's undefeated too. And he had like 3 months to prepare for this fight. He knows how to cut weight. He has coach guidance. He has nutrition, everything. You
Mm,
just found out about this fight 3.5 days ago. You got no coach and nothing. So that's why you don't know how to cut the weight right. But he did know how to cut the weight right. That's why. And I
mm,
told him, why you mean he's 8 years professional defeated boxer? You told me it was his first fight ever. And he said, like, no. I said it's his first professional MMA fight. I was like, bro, like, if you would have told me this before, there was no way I was gonna fight this guy. Like, come
mm.
on, bro.
He's
Like,
like, yeah, he
I
said, yeah,
haven't
that's
even
why I had to
sparred
tell
yet.
you that way.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even sparred yet. Like, I don't even know how to do MMA. I never really, I have like 4 or 5 months of jujitsu. And I did one spar with one guy that I ended up getting in trouble for. So, so I was like, he's like, boy, you asked me for money and I give you the opportunity to fight. You want to fight, yes or not? I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. And then I was so nervous, bro. I was so nervous. So in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a lot of weight back. I'm gonna be bigger than this guy tomorrow. So my first idea was I need to put a lot of food on my body. So I got a 2 liter Coca-Cola, two hamburgers with French fries full of oil and lard and like nasty shit. And I start eating all that shit like clack 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 clack. Oh my god, I got diarrhea, bro. It was bad. I haven't had no food in 3.5 days, almost 4 days. No food. That's the first thing that touched my stomach. You know what I mean? Not
Mm,
even water, Coca Cola, bro. Like nasty. My body started shaking. I started sweating like crazy. I got diarrhea. My body feel weaker than what it was. It was bad, bro. And I almost ended up in the hospital that night. And then on the way, I almost went like to. I doubted myself. Like I need to go to the hospital. I don't feel
right,
good.
right, yeah.
I don't feel good. So I kind of like drive, and I was, you know what? No, because if I go to the hospital, they're gonna tell me something's wrong with me, and I'm not gonna fight tomorrow, and then my grandma's gonna die on me. So I turn around, I stop at a taco stand. I got some tacos. I got Jamaica water. I think I drink. I feel a little better, but as soon as I eat it, my body feel like I gotta poop it again. So I went run to the house. I poop it out, but my body felt a little better because I started putting some food in my stomach. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna drink no more sodas, no more that stuff. I think that's what got me sick. So I started drinking just water, and I feel better little by little. Next day, I wasn't feeling as bad, but I do feel a little weak, like sore, and
Mm,
like no energy. And I was just try to mentalize, like, man, I need to figure out, like, should I watch his fight? Should I go online and try to see who he is? Or should I just, because there's nothing I can do right now that is
yeah.
gonna make me better, or it's gonna, and if I see him and I see he's knocking everybody out, it's gonna make me more nervous. I don't wanna, but I gotta see how he fights. I was like, I was doubting myself so much. So it was demons in my head, like making me question, like, not to fight, not to fight. So I was like, you know what? No,
Mm,
let's do this. Let's do this. So I got to the fight, and one of the people that was fighting, his name is Rodney Roden. He became a really good friend of mine. He was on the main event, and he was one of the fighters of the guy that got me the fight. So they got me into their team. It was like three other fighters fighting and me, so four with me. And so whenever I got there, I guess they were my corner. They were the one coaching me and guiding me. So
mm,
Rami said, "Hey, you have a rider? You know how to get there?" I was like, "No, but I give you some gas money if I can go with you." All right, let's go. So I went with him, and he started kind of like telling me like about the fight game and how it works. And he was gonna fight the main event, and I was the main. I think I was the first fight, and I was all right. I was so nervous because I was gonna be the first fight, and I was like, "All right, let's go." So he kind of like guided me through a little bit, and he was in my corner. And I told him about the story, like what I'm fighting. Because he told me, bro, like if you don't have a training or experience, you shouldn't fight, bro. You're just gonna get hurt. And I told him the reason why I was fighting. I was like, yeah, you gotta fight, bro. So you gotta fight, you
mm,
gotta you gotta do it. And don't quit. Just don't quit. Keep going. So I got in the first round. 30 seconds into the first round. The fight's in YouTube, bro. It's embarrassing to watch. I was swinging like a gangster. I was closing my eyes. Biting my mouth guard, closing my eyes and swinging like a gangster, and kicking like crazy. No technique, no nothing, bro. And I just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And eventually, some of my punches were landing, and some of my kicks were landing. And then he was throwing punches, and I feel like the cartoon. Whenever they throw a rock or like a knife or something to the
Mm,
cartoon, and the cartoon look down and he see a wallet full of money and drops to get the money and gets up, the bullet or the knife pass over them without
right,
touching.
right.
They have no idea that that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then they turn around to grab more money and another knife or bullet passing. That's how I felt in the fight. He was swinging very good, very technical. And I had my eyes closed for the majority of the fight. And the puncher was passing next to me. He wasn't hitting me, bro. He was not landing. And 50, 60% of my punches, wild as crazy, were landing, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds, 40 seconds first round, I got tired. My hands feel heavy. I couldn't breathe. And I feel like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. But Ron is like, no, keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. And I keep swinging, keep swinging, keep swinging. And somehow the round ended. And I feel like I was going to have a heart attack. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, like, I got to my corner on the chair. They gave me
Mm,
water. I couldn't drink the water because I was like, so as soon as I drink, I spit it out. And
bless
they
you.
were giving me, thank you. They were giving me instructions like, you gotta do the 1, 2, 3 uppercut cross. I have no idea what they were talking about. You gotta throw the oblique kick. You gotta throw these crazy. Like they were giving me names that I had never heard of my life. So then I just went to the second round. I had a hard time getting up on the second round, but I did. And I keep swinging, bro. Keep swinging. The moment that thing ring, he got close to me. He started putting pressure. And then I throw like a heavy shot, kind of wobble him a little bit. And he got a little bit more cautious now. He started being very precise, very technical.
Mm-hmm.
And like he got worried because I was just being unpredicted, I was just swinging like crazy.
Yeah, I always say it's harder to fight someone who doesn't know how to fight than it is to fight someone who knows how to fight.
And and I was tired. I feel weak. I feel like I was gonna have a heart attack, and I didn't feel right. I feel like I was gonna have diarrhea as well in the middle of the ring. So I keep going, and then he did a simple jab like poop back, click me right here. I started bleeding, bro, like crazy. I had like a huge cut in the middle between my eyebrows
Mm,
right here, huge. So the blood was coming into my eye, and every time I cleared the blood on my eyes, he started punching and swinging. He started landing some of those shots. The moment I got hit a couple times, I started swinging back, ta ta ta, and I was landing back. The fire was crazy, bro. I almost got fight of the night on my first night. So I keep swinging like crazy and kicking. I kick a lot. I don't know how, but I kick a lot, and I
mm.
landed a lot of my kicks. And I got him in defense. I don't know I don't know how, but I grab a leg in a weird way. You can see in the video. It's kind of weird. I don't
Oh, I'm
even
gonna
know
go
how to
watch it
grab it.
as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna go watch it. I have to
I
watch it.
grab the leg. I don't even know how, and I pick it up and I swing his leg with my foot, and he landed the fence and me. So he was in between me and the fence, and his hands were trapped, and I was holding his arm against, and I did this, pow, heavy elbow right in his jaw, like pow, heavy, and then another one, pow, and I was about to do the third one, and the referee grabbed me and stopped me, and on my head, I won, right? I think I won. It
Oh,
was, no, it was the end of the round. The time,
oh, okay, okay, okay.
the timer beep beep, but I didn't know, I didn't hear it,
Mm,
and I didn't know that's what it was. So he stopped me, and the guy pushed me, got up like nothing. I couldn't even get up, bro. I was grabbing the fence to try to get up. I was like, ah. I was like, I don't even know how I made it to the corner. So when I got to the corner, they tried to give me water. I couldn't drink water. I didn't drink water in round one or round two. I was dehydrated. I got diarrhea. My hands feel heavy. I felt I was gonna have a heart attack, and I was done, bro. I didn't have nothing left, nothing left. And then they keep giving me more ideas on how to fight.
mm,
It was stressing the shit out of me, bro. I didn't know what they were
mm.
talking about. They were telling me all of these things, And like, how can you tell me something that I never done or know what to do?
Hmm.
You stressing me out.
Might
So
as well
I
be
didn't
speaking
say that.
Chinese to you.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I was just trying to understand what they were saying, but it was
Hmm.
stressing me more. So I got to the third round. I had my hands on my knee. I was like, that guy wasn't even sweating. That guy was fresh. And we went at it. He got very aggressive, bro. He got very aggressive, and we started going at it. And the moment he connect one, I had to connect three or four. Because on my head, if I don't connect it and I'm bleeding, I'm losing. So
Right.
I keep swinging. And then he started landing some, and I started landing some. And I keep punching and kicking and punching and kicking. And in the middle of the round, I feel in my head like, I'm done. I can't. I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, I can't do this no more. I'm done. I hear Ronnie, my friend, do it for your grandma. Oh my God, bro. Like, I wanted to cry, bro. I wanted to cause I feel like I have nothing left. I feel like my body wasn't reacting to it. Like I have nothing left. And I feel, I don't know how to say that word, like powerless. Like
Hmm.
when you can do nothing about it.
Hmm.
And I kind
It's almost
of,
almost like an out of body experience where you're just watching, like
and
you
I
can't do
screamed, bro,
shit.
and I was like, and I kept going. I kept swinging. And at the end, it was like maybe like 20 seconds, 15 seconds left. The guy said, like, come on, let's go. And then I start going at it. I started swinging, swinging, kicking, punching, and I was landing. He wasn't. And ring. I was like, oh, thank God. And I sit down. I wanted to lay down on the floor. Like I wanted to lay down on the floor. You like, and then Paul and the other guys, the guy that got me the fight and the other corners that I have, he was telling me like, JC, do some push-ups, show them that you're not tired. I was like, I won't get up. I won't able to be able to
Mm-hmm.
do one. There was no way I'm gonna do push-up. I was like, I can't. So I
Bless you.
tried to drink water and
Mm.
I couldn't even drink water yet, bro. My heart, I was like, and then, all right, they took my gloves. All right, fighters in the center of the ring, and the winner by decision in the blue corner, JC Llamas. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to cry, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted to cry because to me, that means my grandma will be alive, you know?
Right.
That means like I will be able to provide for them. As soon as I got the money, I send it, bro. I send it, and then a lot of people start asking me, like, bro, you know who you fought? Like this guy's been beating everybody like forever. He's like one of the new up and coming stars. Like, how long you been training? I was like, man, like how long you been doing MMA? I was like, man, like three, like maybe 3 or 4, like 3 or 4 years. I was like, no, man, no, this is my 4th day. I just find out about the fight like 4 days ago. This is like I just barely started, and nobody believed in me, bro. Nobody believed in me. I had like 5 months of jujitsu, and then I got my knee surgeries, and I stopped for a year, and then I went back. So I got like probably 5 months of jujitsu. That's it. And after that, I was like, I gotta do this right. I gotta educate myself how to eat right, how to train right, what not to eat, how to cut weight right. I gotta make sure I love this. Like I actually enjoy it, and I don't want to feel how I feel like this. I feel like
Right.
I was gonna
Right.
die. So I gotta
You
educate
want to feel.
myself.
You want to feel how your opponent looked.
Yeah. And I started taking it serious, bro. Since that day, I started
Mm.
taking it
That's
serious.
right.
A year later, I quit my job. But before I was also going to school. I was getting my engineering fiber optics. So I was going to school from because of my work. They pay for my school,
Right.
and I did um I think it was like 7 years of school, bro, like around there. And I quit my job. I had a good position, like a really good position that they were gonna give me after I finished my school, and I decided to quit my job. But I tried to see. I think it was like a year later, after my first fight, because I was saving money. I made like a blueprint, like not like a blueprint, like a step by step how to make it
Right.
happen in the
Hmm.
fight game without
Right.
working. So I said I'm gonna do this, and this, and I'm gonna train like this teach like this and try to get sponsors like this, and I'm gonna try to sell merchandise. Like basically everything step by
Yeah,
step.
you had the whole blueprint.
Yeah, and in that year, I was doing it, but without still going to work and still going to school. And I noticed I was able to do it, but it was harder. It was very hard because I didn't have time to train as much or to teach right. And but I was making okay money. Year later, I finished my school. I quit my job. I said, I'm done with this. And I started training. I started teaching. I have more time. I started renting a gym. And then I partnered up with the guy from Fighting Dragons. Remember that one I went? I
Yeah, the
partnered up.
original. Yeah,
Yeah, because the other instructor left them,
right.
and then he ended up. I had to pay money, blah blah blah. So I took over the jiu-jitsu and the MMA program. So I started teaching, and then I realized like it was way too expensive wherever he was at, and there was no walking traffic. So I find a better place. He
Mm,
wanna join me, so I got a bigger place than that for 3 times cheaper. I got like around like 300 students, bro, in the first 6 7
damn,
months,
damn.
and everybody wanted to train with me. I became very good at leg locks. Like every tournament that I was competing, I leg lock everybody. I was competing. I was a wire blue
Mm,
belt, and I was already
mm.
tapping like black belts in the no gi
And
advanced
yeah,
division.
and just for context for people, like, so when I clip this for people who don't know, like leg locks are popular now, but back then they weren't.
They were,
So
bro. They made me feel bad about myself for
yeah,
doing leg locks.
I'm young, but I was educated. I started really paying attention as a teenager, like tough two, tough three. So like,
Yeah,
I remember like leg locks weren't a thing back there
a lot
back
of
then.
people, a lot of coaches here in town, they were they were telling me that I shouldn't be doing those leg locks because they're very dangerous and very they illegal to white belts. They should only black belts do it. And I was like, well, I'm not doing it because uh, I'm a white belt or because I wanna hurt nobody. I'm doing it because I wanna use them in my professional fighting. I wanna get good at this, and eventually I wanna compete in the black belt division. So that's the only weapon I can use to be able to defeat people with more experience than me. So
Right.
everybody hated me, bro. Like especially locally because how a white belt is stopping all these black belts in town? How is that
Hmm.
possible? So they hated me.
Hmm.
But a lot of kids or a lot of people that saw that, they're like, I want to train with that guy. He's a white belt and tapping all these guys.
Hmm.
And eventually I got my blue belt and eventually my purple belt. And in every belt that I was competing, I was dominating, bro. I was dominating. And I got my black belt in 6 years. In my first year, I got my black belt. I got ranked number one in the world. My first year as a black belt, and the second year and the third year, gi, no gi, and I also compete in absolute division. I was
Mm.
competing in SJJIF and NABJJF. Those are the two competition brands that I was competing because my sponsors pay me money if I win in those tournaments. So
Right.
I was getting paid like couple $1,000 per gold medal,
Hmm.
and I was compete in gi, no gi, gi open and no gi open in four divisions. So the majority of the times I come home with four gold medals. For me, that was an income like, oh, that's $4,000 right there, you know?
Hell yeah.
So
Hmm.
I started competing, and I got really fascinated with leg locks, and I started creating my own modifications, my own leg locks. I had like 4 or 5 leg locks that I made myself that a lot of people doesn't know about. Like they
Right.
don't
Right.
even know they exist. And whenever I start teaching them, a lot of people start booking me to do seminars or teaching them leg locks. And
Hmm.
back then it was like you say, it was not they were
Hmm.
not popular.
Hmm.
Nobody
Nah.
nobody really do leg locks. Back in Brazil, they call it zapateros. Um, how do you call like shoemakers? The people that did
Mm-mm.
leg locks, kind of like saying that it was cheating. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want you to do those things.
like in baseball, they'll call it bush league, like where it's like cheating. It's like frowned upon. It's like an unwritten rule. Like
Yes.
I'm not
So
explaining it. Yeah,
I started doing the leg locks, and I got ahead of the game in leg locks. And eventually people start doing leg locks eventually. But by the time they were doing leg locks, I already had like 12 years of leg locks. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Um, whenever they tried to get me in a leg lock, I wasn't panicking or I wasn't like
Mhm.
scared. I was like, I know how to counter that because I
Right.
made that move, or I know
Yeah, yeah.
the counter of that move. And
You lit while they were all learning it, you lived it. Like you lived
yeah.
in it.
So eventually, the same coaches that they were hating on me, that they were like being rude and disrespectful to me, they asked me to teach them privately, like private lessons, one on one, showing
Mm,
leg locks, blah blah blah. And I didn't hate him then. I was like, yeah, come by. It's
yeah.
$60 an hour though. So I started teaching them, and I started teaching a lot of professional fighters, fighters that fight in the UFC, fighters that fight in Bellator, like big name fighters. They were asking me for leg locks, even though I wasn't in those competitions yet.
Right.
And so it opened a lot of doors for me. Like in the String Couture in Las Vegas, my friend Dennis Davis, he's the head coach of the professional team, and 90% of the fighters in the professional team, they're like the top 10 UFC fighters in the world.
Right, right, right.
You know? So I was going there with them. Those guys were asking me to teach them leg locks. Like some of the best guys in the world, for example, another friend of mine, Mike Perez, he um he beat Buchecha in jiu-jitsu. He beat Gordon Ryan in jiu-jitsu. Supposedly Gordon Ryan is the best in the world in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
That guy beat him because of my leg locks. And whenever he won, he gave me a shout out like, thank you to JC for planting the seed of doing leg locks and helping me with the leg locks and showing me how to do leg locks. And me and my Perez, whenever we grapple, I get him all the time. You know what I mean? And my Perez be like some of the best guys in the world. Right now, he's like probably top 10 in the world for best jiu-jitsu fighters in the world. And
Right.
so
Oops.
for me, it was a way to like es- excel faster
Right.
than the average people because I cannot compete with somebody that's been doing jiu-jitsu for 10, 12 years on my
Right.
first year doing the same thing that he's doing. There's no way.
Mm,
So I gotta step out of the box and find my own way. And thanks to that,
mm.
same thing with boxing. I became a professional boxer, but I don't fight like a boxer. I fight with my break dancing and my capoeira movement. I'm very my
Right.
shoulder balls, my movement is different than regular boxing. The same
Mm.
thing
It's
with my MMA.
unorthodox, yeah. Very
I had
unique.
to I had to adapt to things like that. And
Yeah.
back then they made fun of those
Mm.
styles, so they say that those things doesn't work. Dominic Cruz move weird. Uh,
Yeah, right,
my
right.
McGregor move weird.
Yeah, they're
Michael
very
Venom
unique.
face hands down
Hmm.
move me like all those times.
Hmm.
Like you cannot fight a guy that has been fighting the entire life in a specific way and expect to win with the same style. You gotta
Right.
come with something different. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm.
So
Like
that's
anytime, yeah, anytime I was sparring, so I would always have better boxing than most MMA fighters, right? So anytime I was sparring MMA fighters, I could outbox them. But whenever I was fighting MMA, I had a teammate who was like an elite amateur boxer who transitioned to MMA. So with him, I always had a kick. I always had to use. I couldn't compete with him
yeah.
because I was like, I was a little ghetto kid. So I'd go to practice for 3 months and then I'd miss for 3 months. I'd go to practice for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And so not
Hey,
so
look. Sorry,
and
my
I know we
daughter
got to
having a
wrap.
battle right
Yeah,
here.
all good. Yeah, and I know we got to wrap it up soon. But one thing I did take away from this whole conversation is originally you said you never do anything half-assed. When you go into something, you do it all the way. And it's crazy to me, and it's really cool to me that the first move you ever got submitted with, you went all the way with it and became, a master in it. And even something as simple as that, changed your whole life.
That
So
changed my life.
that's my takeaway from this shit. Hmm. And it was like, in like because a lot of people say they're this or say that, and like they have a false sense of reality of who they really are. Where like literally it goes and show like it proved exactly you are who you say you are, and that's why I feel like I gravitated towards you at the fights too, because immediately you gave knowledge like, hey, no flash, no flash, because I've only fought before, I've never been on the media
Yeah,
side, so and and I could just tell, like, okay, listen to this guy. You just you have that vibe that you speak with intelligence. You carry yourself with, intellectual intelligence as well. And I just really respect you, and from afar, because like I said, I grew up watching Tachi. I grew up, stuff like that. So my pro debut was at Tachi.
oh nice, nice. Who do you fight?
Yeah, I fought Hernandez, something Alex Hernandez, something
Alex
like that.
Fernandez. Okay.
So the fight before, so November before that, I broke my rib.
Oh man.
My drunk cousin picked me up, and we fell, and I broke my rib, and I ended up fighting still. It was just a fracture, and I ended up fighting a wrestler who was like 15 pounds heavier than me. He wasn't very good, but he was very aggressive and much bigger than I was.
Yeah.
And I ended up submitting him, but and I ended up making
Mm.
my pro debut like 3 months later. So like,
Oh,
and I had him in a guillotine too, but when he lifted me up, I let go because my rib was still fucked up.
oh damn.
But it was really inexperience. I just had to get some more experience. But uh,
How long
so
did it took you
you're
to heal your rib? Sorry to cut you off, because I got the
yeah
same
like
problem, and that took me like
mm,
3 to 4 months for mine.
yeah, I would say to like feel like for real good. Almost like 6 months, but like to start training to where like I could grapple and stuff again, like 3 4 months for sure. Because
I
at
you
first
know.
I could, because mine was on the back. Mine was on the back of my rib,
Oh, I see.
the back left side. So I was able to hide it because I could fight left. I fight southpaw. My older brother was left-handed, so I just grew up copying him a lot. So I'm ambidextrous. I can fight. Sometimes my boxing's even better southpaw.
Yeah, same
Like
here.
I could throw. I'm very coordinated as well. Like I could throw left-handed. I could, stuff like that. So, but he ran at me right when the fight started, and then he just threw a kick and kicked me right in my ribs. And then George, right from Fresno, he cornered he from New Wave Boxing.
I think I know him because I used to go train at the Tron Fresno, and I think he was the boxing
Yeah,
coach or
right,
assistant
yeah,
there.
yes, yes. So he kept telling me throw straight right when he comes out because I had this kid hella mad. I slapped him in the weigh-ins because he pushed me. And then I was cocky. I had just won my debut in like a minute 20 seconds with a knockout. So, um, and then he ran right at me, and I threw a kick for some reason, but he kicked me right in my ribs, and then I ended up dropping him, and I caught him in a guillotine too in like the first 20 seconds, but
Nice.
because my rib was broken, I couldn't twist. I couldn't
I see.
whatever, and I remember Phil Collins,
Phil
Phil the
Collins.
Phil the Pain Collins. He fought at Tachi as well sometimes too,
I don't
but
know. I don't know.
yeah, but like him, I remember him telling me like to throw up a triangle from there because I was good at the triangle, but I couldn't. Like I remember looking at him with trying to be like whatever, because my rib I was locked up, and he ended up catching me later on in that round, and then I just locked in, and he never hit me again, and then I ended up submitting him with a rear naked choke, but. And then I had to just gain experience as far as like 2 minute rounds to 5 minute rounds. I kind of transitioned way too fast because I didn't lose as an amateur, but I went pro a little early.
That's good.
But
I wish
yeah,
I would have had some amateur fights, man. I didn't. I
different
didn't have the.
times.
I didn't have.
Mhm.
I didn't have any time to spar or do.
Right,
But
right. Yeah, see,
I
I
think.
was like over ready. By the time I made my amateur debut, I was like more than ready. I had already been training off and on since like sixth grade. You know what I'm saying? And I was in
Damn.
my 20s, and I was in my 20s. So I was like, and I was training with guys like Jesse Bowen and a lot of like, good dudes, real solid dude, a lot of, guys who would come from the throne and shit like that. So
Nice.
but But yeah,
That's
I know
good.
I've kept. Yeah, I know you said you're supposed to get out here at 1:15, so I kept you extra long, bro. I really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes. This thing that I used to right here, this one,
Right,
this one, and this one is one of the best investments I done in for my career. And something I learned is that if your body is healthy, your body is healing quicker, recovering quicker. You're gonna be able to perform better. And long time ago, well, I have 4 knee surgeries, bro. My knees, 4 knee surgeries, and that's from breakdancing, skateboarding, before even fighting. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Just from being, you.
yes, and whenever my last surgery, the doctor told me like, yeah, bro, you're not gonna be able to walk the same or do any sports. Like you're gonna be in a cane or something. So then I started realizing like, no, like that's not it. Like I have way more to give. So I started like finding things to help my knees and finding ways to like heal faster or recover faster. So I started taking a lot of things that they're natural, like ginger, turmeric, that help me with inflammation. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I need to find something like better. So I have a friend that told me about stem cells. Like, oh, they a lot of the rich people, like even the Joe Rogan podcast, they
Yeah,
announced
yeah,
that they like there's a
yeah.
place in TJ. that is called the
Mm.
CPI, and they actually have in the UFC on the center of the UFC as a sponsor. And basically, what they do, they take stem cells from the umbilical cord and they inject it on the damaged area, and they basically regenerate the ligament, regenerate the tissue, whatever, even organs. If they can inject it anywhere, and it will help you regenerate that part. That's how the babies are created. Like the baby, the little baby, little egg, the stem cells from the umbilical cord, and makes him grow legs, arm, fingers, heart, organs, anything. So they I went and I called and they told me like how much is for both of my knees, and they said oh for something like that is like $20,000. I was like God damn, that's a lot of money. And a friend of mine told me like hey bro, I know a place literally next to it, and the exactly same thing for 5,000, almost $6,000. And I was like hook me up. So he
Yeah,
gave me
much better, much better.
yeah. And he said the only reason why they charging you too much is because they bring like 2 3 days before, they put you in a fancy hotel, and they give you the meals and the transportation back and forth. That's why it's too expensive. But you can do all of that in one day. You don't need to be there like 3 days. And and he's like, you're gonna save like $14,000. I was like, all right, let's do it. So they picked me up in San Diego. They dropped me in the straight, like I didn't have to wait in line. They dropped me from San Diego
Hmm.
to the hospital, and then from the hospital in a medical lane. I don't have to wait like 3 hours in the border. It's
Right.
straight, like took me literally 20 minutes from TJ to San Diego, straight shot like that, and back and forth. 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back without waiting nothing. And that was included on the package. And they give me a billion exosomes, 100 million stem cells, and IV. Basically the same thing, the CPI, except the ozone treatment. Basically they put you in a capsule with oxygen
Mm.
to help you oxygenate your body. But you can do that anywhere for like $60.
Right.
So whenever I did that, they told me you're gonna feel like discomfort for like 2 or 3 days, and after that you're gonna be fine. Just don't twist a lot for like 2 3 days. Like I mean 2 3 weeks. If you play basketball or twist, just take it easy. Don't do nothing crazy. A month later you can do it. And I said, all right. So I felt it like I had let's say my pain level was like 100%, really bad. Like after every training or just waking up, my knees were hurting bad. So whenever I got my stem cells, it reduced the pain to like 50%. I was able to like wake up without the pain, do a lot more things, do more stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is great. But 50% of the pain was still there. I was like, man, I need to get rid of this 50%. And then I keep looking for things like I probably need to get more stem cells, but that's a lot of money still, that's another $6,000.
Right. Right.
So I started looking, and I came across this brand. It's called Stem Regen, bro. And oh my God. Remember how much I paid for the stem cells?
Right.
Almost $6,000 for 100 million, right?
Right. And the time to travel and the time
The
travel.
time to travel, yes. And I had to be
Mm.
waiting like 3 days without doing nothing, then another 3 weeks without twisting so they can heal faster. Okay. This thing, the stem regen, as soon as I take 2 pills, my body will naturally produce naturally from the herbs. It's all 100% natural.
Mm.
10 million stem cells, and this is for 1 month. This one will give me 300 million stem cells, bro. My own stem cells. I don't know if that
Right.
makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
If you
No.
get
No.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. This one is called signal. Your body, whenever you injure, your body prioritize the best, the most um, priority organs in your body to heal. So if you have a heart problem or something bad in your lungs or something, they will send the stem cells to that area rather than if you cut yourself a little bit in the pinky or you cut yourself on the elbow. It will prioritize the major organs or the major injuries. So this is what it does. Yes. Oh man. This one, it will clean the pad in your bloodstream because the stem cells they're sent through the bloodstream. All the food that we eat, all the chemicals, all the nasty stuff that we always eating and drinking, it gets
Mm.
stuck in our bloodstream, and it create like these crazy particles That's just stuck in there. That's why your blood doesn't. The way our body was designed is to heal from our blood. Our blood heals us.
Right.
So whenever you have inflammation, the inflammation is too big that the blood doesn't get to that area. That's why your blood doesn't heal. That's why you have to ice it to bring the swelling down so the blood can get there and heal you, or the stem cells, not most likely. So what this thing does, it remove all the bad radicals, all the bad particles, all the bad things in your bloodstream, get rid of all that nasty stuff, and then let your bloodstream travel the right way. Whatever is not used is sent back to your red bone marrow. The stem cells come from your red bone marrow. This thing, number one, it will activate and will release from your red bone marrow approximately 10 million stem cells, like 2 to 3 hours the moment you take it.
Right.
This one will send the stem cells in the bloodstream to the damaged area. And this one, it will clear the pathway for the stem cells to reach and also clean your blood flow better. This thing cost me $487 for 1 month supply. And it will give me 3 times more stem cells than the $6,000 that I paid. That is a lot cheaper than the CPI
Right.
that costs
Right.
twenty
Right.
thousand
Right.
dollars.
Hmm.
This one
Yeah.
reduced my pain. Let's say from 100 went to 50%. Right now, my pain level is like at 10%. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
So yeah. So the
It
reason
works.
I don't fight no more, the reason I don't fight no more, and I can't compete no more is because I won't be allowed to medically, and I'm constant. So I have a bunch of nerve damage. So when I got stabbed, I'll send you videos. It was bad. I was doing security, and I was like, bro, why you doing that? And he punched me, and I was able to defend myself. But when I hit him, he started stumbling, and then I got space, and I had a fight. I had took basically, I won my first two fights. I lost my next two, and then I started taking training a lot more seriously. And I took 2 years off, but I was training the whole time, just getting better.
Hmm.
You know, and and then I even chose the undefeated fighter to make my return to, just to kind of make a statement, right? Because
Hmm.
everybody I've lost to didn't fight after me. They quit. They weren't fighting no more.
Well,
And then so the guys that I've fought as a pro, they had a combined like 36, 37 fights, and those were my third and fourth fights. So and I split the eyes open.
yeah,
I had to just find my identity,
yeah,
you know, stop wasting movements. Anyways, so I was and I had a 12-week camp for the first time. I had just lost a decision against a pro boxer on 5 days' notice. Um, and then I took the MMA fight, and I was a month out when I got stabbed.
yeah,
Because I tried to give him a pass, like it's cool. He was a bigger, ego. He's a bigger, like
yeah,
Norteño dude. And I was like, it's cool, bro. I'm not even tripping. Like it's cool. And I stayed in like a fight stance. But he walked to his car. I went to pick up my hat, and he came back up to me, stabbed me in my lung. And I got it
yeah.
all on video. I have it all on video too, so I'll show you.
That's crazy.
But
Hey, Gaba,
so
I
I
no, no.
need
Tell me, tell
those.
me, tell me.
I
Yeah,
no, no, no. So all I'm saying is like this was meant to be. I need those. I
yeah,
need those. I'm not I'm not with the whole fucking pain pill movement. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I'm.
Yeah, I'm just powering through this shit every day. I'm even coaching
I,
my kids' softball team. I'm out here dying, but it's fun.
yeah, I
But
start like I
I'm
start
only
taking.
33, so I'm only 33. Like I should still be fighting. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But I at
I
least would like to train again properly.
yeah. This thing will help you big time because it's not just for ligaments or bones or tissue. It's basically anything
Everything.
related with your health. Anything related with your health, and whenever you feel better, you perform better, you recover
Mhm.
better. You're in a better mood as well, and they help you big time. And that's why I partnered up with this brand, bro. I invested in this
Mm.
brand,
Yeah.
and I'm staying behind it. And if I wouldn't know about before I injected on my knees, I would save a lot of money,
Right,
but
right. And to me, it's worth it. Like I've spent money on dumb shit that don't matter, just to go have
yeah,
fun or just to like buy a video game. Like no, like I need this for my overall health. Like my son's 15. You met him, and then my daughters are 7 and 8, and I have a 10 who's about to be 11-year-old, but she's the only one who doesn't live with me. But I have an infant too. I got to live long enough to make sure I watch these kids
yeah.
grow. So and because of my health issues after being stabbed, that's perfect. I Please send that to me.
Yeah, and this is 100% natural. Even kids can take it, bro. I have
Right.
an 8 year old. I haven't given it to him, but the research that they were showing
Yeah.
is no side effects. It's 100%
Yeah.
natural, and the only side effect is that you're gonna heal better and heal faster
Yeah.
and feel better. So,
Yeah, with my
and
son, my son could use it too because my son competes and fights.
yeah,
He grew up in the gym, so that's why like it's like playing basketball to us. You know what I'm saying? Like fighting's not a big thing. Like it's just a sport to us. Well,
yeah. For people that watch
to him,
this,
to him.
for people that watch this, they can go online and get it as Tenry Gem slash Teen Llamas to get a little discount. But I send you the other link for you so you can like get it. And I actually sell it at my gym too as well. If you don't want to wait
Okay.
like a week, but it takes like a week to arrive to your house from whenever you buy it.
Okay. Yeah, man. Thank you for your time, bro. To be honest with you, that was the craziest weight cutting story ever. That's probably gonna be the first clip. That's probably gonna be the first clip I put out. Like, so I really do appreciate your time, bro. And I feel like we're gonna have to do this again soon. Uh, later on down the road, maybe before fights, because I need some more stories, bro. You might be the
Yeah.
most interesting man.
I've been
Take care,
running for
man.
Bakersfield City Council. So for people that watch this, we're gonna change our community. We're gonna make our city the best city in the world, and we're gonna run this with example. So I hope you guys vote for me, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that too, and it'll definitely get his views. That little clip that we had already, that's already at like 30,000 or something like that. That's just that
Oh,
little
that's
interview
good.
we did. So, but yeah, take care, man. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
I
Take care.
appreciate all the knowledge too, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anytime, bro. All right, take care.